I want to ask you a question. How often do you change something big in your city or your country? There'll be many questions like this. I like asking the questions. So by big, I mean something like changing an urban life in Tartu or civil liberties in Estonia. And maybe this is not like the usual question that someone asks you, but I have been exploring this for the last 2 decades, and I want to share some insights with you. So in Ukraine, democracy is something that you have to fight for in the streets during the revolution, and then in the office and online during the reform period. In Estonia, I also research how digital tools empower people all over the world. Well, listening to my talk, you might ask, like, why waste time on politics? But I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about policies. And these are the silent things that shape your life every single day. For example, whether a bus comes on time, whether you have a bike lane or a parking lot, whether your park survives or becomes a shopping mall. And here you may recall the Tartu Central Park destiny. But here, the important point is that either you engage in public life or not. If you don't engage, people shape your life anyway, with or without you, and not necessarily in the best way. So, have you seen, by the way, the Don't Look Up movie? Okay. So this is the world where people notice a problem but ignore it. And then, this is an example of what happens if people disengage from public life. And I'll give you a spoiler. Don't do that. It's a really bad idea. You may now think, okay, there are policies, but my voice doesn't count. This is decided by ruling elites anyway. Well, actually, your voice does count. Let's take the example of same-sex marriages in Estonia. So I hope we have like a progressive academic audience here who are fine with this topic. Yeah? But no pressure, if you have a different opinion, it's also fine. So there was a story that in 2005, 5 civil society organizations, they wanted to open up an opportunity for same-sex marriages. And it took them 18 years of protests, marches, petitions, and even times where a political climate was really not with them. But 18 years later, in 2023, the Estonian parliament passed an act that allowed 2 persons of any gender to marry. So it worked. It was a really long road, but it's civil rights. It's worth it. Again, you might ask like another question. Okay, maybe my voice counts, but I'm not a professional civic activist. And you actually don't need to be one. So if you can think critically, if you can form an opinion and you have access to internet, you have all the tools of a civic activist. So let's take the example of TEDxUniversity of Tartu team. So currently they are streaming this video online. And this is also an example of civic activism. Like, why not? It's kind of civic education. But let's take like a bigger instance. So the advocacy for same-sex marriage. It wasn't a politician who changed it. It was an electronic petition at the Rahvalgatus Estonian petition system. So 35,000 people went online, agreed, signed, and said, we want to change. And the Estonian parliament, it really had to react. So it is working. It is digital democracy. And right now in June, right here in Tartu, you can decide how Tartu spends its money, because it's actually your tax money. So this is participatory budgeting. This is a process where people put forward an idea, they discuss online and vote. And this is not like an advice. So municipality really is obliged to implement or fund what people wanted. So the opportunity to propose projects is already passed on the Wallis, but you have a good choice. So there are things like exercise and health park near Ludwig Pusepa area. There is a proposal to make a statue out of a living tree in the Tartu city center, or maybe visualize tastes for creative self-expression, mindfulness, and social cohesion. By the way, there are no AI-related projects. Sorry, it's completely old school, offline, things like that. So the best part is that you can vote either you're Estonian citizen or a citizen of any other country. So unlike national municipal elections, here, if you're 18 years of older and live and registered here, you can vote because this is your city and your voice matters. So I really kind of encourage you to go online, check the options, discuss, and vote. Because digital democracy, it is not something you kind of watch or something that happens to you. It is something you do. So my recommendation, don't look away, look up and act.